Hey everybody, my name is Drew Perkins and welcome to my show, Served Family Style. I am a wife, a mom, an interior designer, and I'm a CEO and co-owner of Robinson Farms Next Gen with my 11 siblings. You're gonna see some food, fun, fashion, and you're definitely gonna be laughing. Enjoy yourself here, lay back, have some fun, and join us at the table because we love to serve it up family style. Hello everybody, my name is Drew Perkins and I am the CEO and co-owner of Robinson Farms Next Gen, and you are standing in our boutique hotel. This is the L, and today I'm here to show you the Marie. It was inspired by my sister Janice Marie, and I love this opportunity to be able to share the uniqueness of my sister and just something that really kind of means a lot to me. So let's take a look around her room and see what we had in store for you. So one of the things that really tied this whole room together was the love that my sister has for a nice bling. And so this mirror was definitely inspired by her. So as I finish up everything here in the Marie, I want you guys to join me downstairs because I am making my famous Southern fried chicken. And so when the guests come in today, we'll have everything ready for them and we can have a meal together. So come on downstairs, let's go see what's happening. We are making my mother's amazing fried chicken. And so I've already done a couple of steps because earlier what I did was I went ahead and seasoned up my chicken. I like to have my seasoning sitting on my chicken for at least a couple of hours because it's a layering process and it just feels like somebody just took the time to make sure that all of the ingredients were in the chicken and that it was all juicy. So that's what I did today. So now that I have all of my chicken seasoned and I let it sit for a little while, I also make a little compost as well. And so it's just flour and milk, and then it's also the same seasonings that I put on the chicken. And then this is my flour, and so my flour also has the same seasoning that my chicken has as well. And so I layer on the flavor. And so when you get this fried chicken, you're gonna know that this is Ella's fried chicken. So what you're gonna see me do, I'm gonna take a piece of chicken. Inside of this, I also put hot sauce. So I'm gonna take chicken and I'm actually just going to roll the chicken and get it full, see? We got all of that on there, and then we're gonna take it and I'm just gonna lay this one down, okay? Because I'm gonna get all of them. So once your hands get all sticky and you just wanna kinda keep going with the process. So I'm gonna keep placing these here. I'll probably do about 3 because that'll be enough in that particular bowl because I don't want to overflow the bowl when I'm actually flouring things. Now, normally I would do this old school and get a whole brown bag and start shaking the chicken up in it, but I'm nice today, so I'm just gonna use my bowl and I'm gonna flip the chicken around and make sure it gets nice and coated. I am actually just gonna really just cook them down in this pot. And if you are a beginner cooker of chicken and you don't know how to cook chicken, I would suggest that you start with individual pieces, just like a leg, right? Don't try to do the thighs and the breast and the legs because they all cook at a different temperature and they all cook at a different time frame as well. So legs are gonna cook at a certain time, so are wings, so are breasts, and so are your thighs. And so you wanna make sure that you're cooking your chicken appropriately so that you have your chicken on the outside, it's done, but on the inside, it is also done. And so that's why I also cook it in a pot as well, because you have a lid, and I want you beginners to put your lid on your chicken, okay? So what that's gonna do is help your chicken cook from the inside out, right? And so it's still gonna make it crispy, but you're gonna put your lid on, let your lid stay on for about 5 or 6 minutes, and then take the lid off and then just let it fry by itself organically, and it'll crisp up and it's just gonna be tasty. So now that I have all of my chicken that I'm gonna do right now all put together and in its flour, I'm actually gonna wash my hands, and then we're gonna start placing some of the chicken in the oil. But I wanna test my oil first to make sure my oil is ready for me to do all of that, okay? So quickly, I'm gonna wash my hands. Especially when you're touching chicken and you're you're cooking chicken in the kitchen, you definitely want to make sure that you are washing your hands when you move from your bowls to your pots or things like that, as to not spread any contamination with your chicken. If you just want to make sure that you're doing things in a healthy way, right? And so I'm gonna go over here now. Old school, what my mother used to do when we were when she was cooking in the kitchen, before they got all of these, you know, fun things that are electronic, that you can stick the thermometer in your grease and check your grease. My mother used to just flick water in her oil. And so if she heard it start to bubble, that means I got about 2 or 3 more minutes that I need to let this oil heat before it's at the right temperature, right? And so what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna continue to take all of my chicken and I'm gonna batter it up, and then we're gonna start frying, okay? I'm gonna do about 6 in this particular pot. So we'll have two pots of chicken. And so, let me see if I can find a little one. I think I can squeeze one more in there. So I'm just gonna start letting that cook. I'm gonna actually go ahead and put the top back on like I suggested. If you're new to the chicken game and you're trying to learn how to fry chicken, go ahead and put your top back on, and we'll make sure that you are really going to be cooking some amazing chicken. Your chicken is going to be done from the inside out, and you don't have to worry about any surprises when you get ready to bite into your chicken, okay? We're gonna go ahead and finish out with our cornbread, and then we're gonna plate ourselves a nice heaping helping of this fried chicken and some cabbage, okay? See you soon. Okay, so now that we've put on our cabbage, we've started frying our chicken, I'm actually gonna start making up our cornbread. We're gonna fry some cornbread, and so my mother called it hot water bread. And so with her recipe, typically it was just hot water and meal. And so it gives it a very different texture and flavor when you're just doing hot water and meal. So she started to add like the salt and the sugar, and eventually she started making it just like you would make cornbread, except for she would fry it. So today, that's what I have. I put some meal in the bowl, some flour, some salt, a little bit of sugar, and some baking powder. And I'm gonna actually add 1 egg. And when you're doing this, like you're gonna be frying it, you don't want it thick like you are actually, when you're actually making cornbread. I mean, you wanna keep it at a texture that is gonna allow you to kind of fry it up. And so I'm gonna start off with just a little bit of milk first, and I'm gonna go ahead and give it a quick stir and see how I like the texture. Yeah, cornbread was probably the first thing that my mother taught me how to make when I was in the kitchen. That was the first thing that she turned over, and she was like, okay, Drusilla, this is what you put in cornbread. And I'm looking at her like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do with that? So I'm supposed to put all these things in a bowl. And yeah, I started making cornbread, putting that oil in there. It wasn't always the best cornbread. My brothers, who were some of my first critics, they would toss my cornbread and my biscuits up against the wall, and I would be so upset. I'm running in the kitchen, Mama, they're making fun of me. But eventually, they beg for this cornbread now. So what am I to do with 9 brothers? So this consistency is a pretty good consistency. I'm gonna add just a little bit more water, because once we see this consistency, when I drop it, I want it to be able to handle the weight of the heat that it's gonna be up against. So you don't want this to fall apart while you're trying to fry it. So I'm gonna turn on my eye. I'm gonna let it warm up. And while I'm letting this warm up, I'm just gonna start pulling my vegetables and prepping them for our cucumber salad. Now, my brother, Charles, he has an amazing garden in Sykeston. So all of this fresh fruit and vegetables I pulled out of his garden. So I'm gonna have a cucumber. We're gonna use some of his amazing tomatoes that we got out of the garden. And then I'm definitely gonna use one of the purple onions, because that's so good. And I think because we have a hearty amount of people tonight, I'm gonna actually use another cucumber, but I'm gonna start washing and prepping this And I'm gonna show you how another thing that my mother did in the summertime. So she would always take these vegetables and just add them to a meal, and we could literally eat these by itself and it would be a meal. So you guys are gonna learn how, when you're in the country, how you take something and you make it a meal. So keep tracking, I'll be right back. Okay, so before I finish showing you what's gonna be in my cucumber salad, let's check our chicken. Make sure that our chicken's not overcooking or burning up or anything. So because we put this lid on there, your legs can normally take anywhere from 10 to 12 minutes. So I'm just gonna pull this out so you can see, this is the color. And see how it's still crunchy? This is still crunchy chicken, but for you guys who are starting new, this pressure cooking, this method of cooking from the inside out, this will help you accomplish your chicken cooking process, right? So that you don't have to worry about your chicken not being done on the inside. So what happens when you put this top on here, you see this little dark mark right there? What it is actually, it's the blood that cooks from the inside. And so it really tells you that this chicken has been done on the outside. And so I'm more than confident about taking it out. We're gonna drop off the grease. I'm putting it in my container. And then after I do this, I'm just gonna add the rest of the chicken, the next batch, and get all of our chicken done. Ah, look at that. It's beautiful color. Paprika gives you that beautiful color. It smells like mama in the kitchen. Y'all need to smell it. It smells really good in here. Cornbread, chicken being fried, the cabbages are simmering, so yeah. Those will probably be done even before we finish cutting up our vegetables, right? So now we're gonna move on. We're back to our cucumber salad, and I'm just gonna cut up a little bit of this red onion because I love a good flavor of onions, and onions are so good for us. You can see in the kitchen at the L, I actually ended up choosing a color for these cabinets that's so good for your palate. So green is so good for your palate. So I'm cutting up some tomatoes. I'm gonna put some tomatoes in there, some of these fresh gardens. At first I thought these tomatoes were maybe peppers, but these are some beautiful tomatoes that came straight out of my brother's garden. So I'm excited about having these for dinner tonight. Now you can put as much or as little of whatever type of veggies you want in your salad. I also, for topping, I do just a little bit of sugar, right? And salt, a little bit of black pepper. And in this bowl, I've mixed together some vinegar, a little bit of the jalapeno juice, and some jalapenos. And I'm just gonna pour all of that over the salad. And you can kind of just toss it around. Let all of that vinegar and salt and all of that get up in the veggies, but this is gonna be amazing. I mean, there's nothing else to do to this, but we're just gonna sit it aside, and we're just gonna make sure that our cornbread is not overcooking. I'm gonna get a plate and we're gonna take that out. Corn fritters are ready. Man, you couldn't ask for anything better. This is the L style. This is Ella at the L house. This is how we make corn fritters here. So we're gonna eat this with our cabbage, and when we come back, we're gonna put our whole meal together. We're gonna plate our meal, and we are gonna enjoy some of this amazing food. Okay, so we're gonna get into these cabbage because I know they're done. They're simmering. Still notice that I didn't put a lot of water in here because, like I said, cabbage is already water. So you can see the meat that's in there. And so these are spicy, they're ready. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut these off. And we're gonna be ready to eat. So we're taking out the last of our chicken. And after we do this, we are ready to eat. So I'm gonna go yell like my mother used to do when it was time for us to eat. She would say, "Hey, y'all come eat." And then the boys would rush to the table and everybody would sit down, and we'd probably spend the next hour talking and discussing and eating and laughing. And getting to know more about our parents, because this is when they would probably spend a lot of time discussing with us some of the things of their past or things that their parents did. And so tonight I say bon appetit. Go home and cook you some fried cabbage and some fried chicken with some beautiful, amazing, get some stuff out of your garden. Get some things out of your garden. Get some cucumbers and tomatoes out of the garden. Make you some cornbread, Kool-Aid, make you some Kool-Aid, and then whip up a dessert and enjoy yourself. So have a great one, and we'll see you soon. Bye.